Hey guys, so like I said in my last video last week, I would like to share our school schedule with you because this has taken us a long time to come up with a good schedule and a good system, and not that everything always goes as planned, but I have finally learned how to schedule when you're doing homeschool and balancing homemaking and cooking and cleaning and just everything that comes with having 3 kids, being stay-at-home, and homeschooling. So I thought I would share our regular schedule with you, and if you would like to see how I school plan, I have another video on that, so the link to that is below. But this is how a sample week goes around here, and I do have a video on how I plan, how I actually plan our subjects out, so that would probably be helpful to watch when it comes to this video in order to understand everything, but I'll link that video below. So the most important thing that I have learned in homeschooling, whether it's 1 kid, 3 kids, whatever, is to schedule loosely. Do not do, like, oh my gosh, my personality is schedule 15-minute increments all the way through, and that just doesn't work for me, because what happens if we get behind, and you know, I don't usually schedule in the slack for this one needs a nap, or this one's not taking a nap, or you know, this one needs just some extra attention, or we need to get outside and get some energy out. I don't usually schedule that in when I'm doing like a very strict schedule. So what happens is if we get more than like 30 minutes off schedule, I just shut down the whole day, and I'm like, yeah, forget it, we'll do school tomorrow. And that doesn't quite work out, because with 3 little ones, there's a pretty good chance that your schedule is going to be wrecked every single day. So what I've done is I've just scheduled morning and afternoon, what I would like to get done in the morning and what I would like to get done in the afternoon. And morning, we pretty much start every day by like 9:30. If latest would be 10 to get a good chunk of school done before we break for lunch, and then we take like, I guess the dividing line right here would be lunch, and the kids have some time to play outside, do their contributions. Again, I'll link that video below. It's our chore system, and then we get back in the swing of things during our afternoon school time. So here is how our schedule goes. We start Monday morning. We get up and do our contributions, which are our chores. They get those done in about 20 minutes, and then we do our group time. Now, this is the same every single day, contributions and group time. Our group time is our calendar, our days of the week. If we have a Bible verse that we're studying, we'll go over that Bible verse. We talk about the weather. We do a little bit of like discussing what we did last week, or what we're learning, or what we remember about things. And that's basically our group time in the morning. And then we go into our unit study. Sometimes that's 5 in a row. Sometimes, like for example, this week is Thanksgiving. So we're reading a combination of Cranberry Thanksgiving, which is a 5 in a row book, and the Magic Treehouse Thanksgiving on Thursday book. So we'll do our group or unit study time, which involves either, you know, coloring pages. We do read the book at that time, and then we do whatever activity goes along with it that day. And that again is also like maybe 15-20 minutes of reading, and then about 20 minutes of an activity. Then in between each subject, we always take a little break. I give them just a few minutes to clear their brains, relax before we move on into the next subject, because what you have to remember when you're homeschooling, what I have to remember when I'm homeschooling, is that because there's not 20-25 kids, they're getting constant instruction the whole time. So they do need a little bit of a break. If they were in school, it would be maybe a flow from one subject to another, but some people finish their work earlier. Some people can come back to their work later. And, you know, in homeschooling, it's more of like a hovering feeling. So I let them rest between each subject for about 10 minutes. And sometimes they'll get their rabbit out, or they'll just run outside real quick, or they'll color. They are allowed to play with our designated schoolroom toys, not their actual toys, because that's just distracting, and then suddenly you just have messes, and I have to, pull them back into the schoolroom to do school. So there's blocks, Legos, math games, things like that they're allowed to play with if they just want to take a little break. But otherwise, it's pretty much like play with some animals or just go outside. So after our unit study on Mondays is we do science. And on Mondays, we just read the chapter or do some journaling work, whatever I have scheduled that day. It's no projects, nothing major. Then we break off into our math time. My daughter's math is teaching textbooks, which is independent. My son's math, I just read him the instructions and he does the math himself. So that's about when I go, and our kitchen is right off of our schoolroom, so I can read him the instructions and stay near to him if he needs help, but that's about when I start making lunch. Then we take our break that I kind of talked about, come back after lunch and recess and do our contributions. And then on Mondays, we do Story of the World, and that is, once again, just a reading day. We introduce the new chapter, read, do the questions that come in the book, and then we move right into my daughter's spelling lesson, which pretty much wraps up our day. My son's already done. He's gone by this point. Usually, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that during Story of the World, he usually falls asleep on the floor. I don't know why, but every time. He loves the curriculum and he answers questions and he talks about it all week, but it's just like the late afternoon, if we're reading and it's quiet, he falls asleep on the school carpet. And then my daughter goes and does some silent reading, and if my son's awake, he'll just look at some picture books. So then moving on into Tuesday, same thing, contributions and morning time. Tuesdays, we go out, we have a horse, we lease a horse, and so we're allowed to go whenever we would like to, but I do have my kids scheduled for lessons on Tuesdays, and by the time we get out there really early, by the time that we come back, I make them take showers, and then we have about 30 minutes before we do lunch, so we just do one math lesson or a half a math lesson, and then geography and history is either reading about a president, just a brief summary of their life, or doing a geography, which is just a worksheet. Once again, that would be in another video that is in my curriculum choices video. The geography is just worksheet based, very simple, so it's coloring page type of a deal. Lunch, contributions, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays are actually identical, so I'm only going to go over this once. My mother's helper just got here. I was saying though, Tuesdays and Thursdays are very similar, or they're identical except for the stables. So we do we do the unit study instead of going out to the barn on Thursdays. But in the afternoon, my son does his All About Reading Level 1. We do it twice a week. During the rest of the week, he practices his fluency in the evenings. So, but he actually has his new lesson on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Then my daughter again. I skipped handwriting. So then we have handwriting on Tuesdays and Thursdays also. That is just a worksheet I print out and hand to them. So same idea as before. I usually am in the kitchen starting to either prepare dinner if it's something that needs to go, to marinate or anything like that, or I am working on getting my son down for his nap while they're working on their handwriting sheets. Then my daughter does spelling. It's the same at the end of every day. We do a spelling lesson. She has to do spelling every single day to stay on track with this curriculum. It takes 5 minutes maybe, and then she goes and does her silent reading. My son looks at picture books again. So Wednesday, same idea, contributions, group time, the unit study. Science, my dad comes over and does with them on Wednesdays. He is very scientifically inclined. He does a better job, in my opinion, than I do with incorporating science into the Bible. He is able to engage them in a different way than I can, and he usually brings over a different kind. He's very creative, so he brings over usually a different experiment than is in the book. So I pretty much just follow the book, the way that the book has it all laid out, what the projects in the notebooking journal and all of that, but he brings over something unique, and they really like that. They move around the house when they do their science lesson. It's not boring old mom doing a science lesson. So Wednesdays, he always does science. He doesn't go to work until the afternoon, so he's there. And then again, right before lunch, we do some independent math work. Take a break, contributions, and then that is my daughter does a once a week reading lesson, and I think I might have mentioned it in that curriculum video. We were way too busy last school year, so she only made it through half of her curriculum. She doesn't need a reading curriculum anymore because she is so far ahead, but I make her go through the book still just once a week so she understands some more rules about grammar, because you know, she can read at a very high level, but if you don't understand the difference between two, and two, or why an apostrophe is here, not there, then it's not going to be that helpful to be a great reader if you don't understand any of that. So we still go through it. She just chugs right along like it's nothing, but I still make her go through that, so that takes 10 minutes. Then we do our story of the world. On Wednesday, we do our map work, our coloring pages, and if there's a second part to the chapter, we do that. And then again, spelling and silent reading. Thursday is very similar to Tuesday. And then Friday is what I really want to talk about. I grocery shop for 2 weeks at a time. I probably will do a video on that next week, but I grocery shop for 2 weeks at a time. And when I do, when it is a week that I have to grocery shop, I do that on a Friday. Also, Fridays are our project days. So we do all of our book work, all of our reading, Monday through Thursday, and then Friday we do any projects that our book has laid out for us, whether it be science, history, art. They do Art for Kids Hub on Fridays just for fun, whether our unit study has a big project or not. That way I only have to pull out art supplies and get the schoolroom really messy one day a week. So Fridays are our project days. The kids think it's a fun Friday. We've said before, they have a blast. Then, we start, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. We've had a long day. We do contributions in group time, and then we do one little quick lesson in math, maybe. And then it's project day. So whether our unit study, geography, history, science, story of the world, or art has a project, we do that on Friday. They do recipes. It's a fun day. Now, normally we do our project day in the morning, and then we have the afternoon free. Now, the afternoon is I take them out for ice cream or a sweet treat, just a little something to celebrate the weekend with them before my husband gets home. It's my last opportunity to really cherish the one-on-one time I have with them before we move into a busy family weekend. And then we either go grocery shopping, or we can go out to the barn, or I have this time available for us to make up any other work that we needed to make up for the rest of the week. We can plug in a field trip here. My light just turned off, that was weird. We can plug in a field trip here. I do have a cleaning lady that comes. She used to come every Friday. Now I have switched to just once a month because the kids are older and more helpful with picking up. So that's on Fridays. So sometimes she comes in the morning, so we take the morning off and then push all of this to the afternoon. But I really don't like to do that because by Friday afternoon, like, I'm in weekend mode, they're in weekend mode. So anyway, that is our Friday schedule. And it's just fun. We always, before we leave in the afternoon to go get ice cream, we all do teamwork. We pitch in, we clean up the house together, we prepare for the weekend, we come home from our grocery shopping or our lunch out or our special treat, and the house is clean. We have all worked on it together. We are good to go and ready for the weekend and ready to move into our Friday night movie night, which is really fun, and I really enjoy the afternoon off of school. So, I guess that's it, but what I really want to share, what the most important thing, and the reason, like I said, that I wanted to share a schedule, is just to say that this has worked very well for us, and it's maybe a different mindset with how to school plan, because many children call for many interruptions. I was just saying that this is just a different way to school plan, and it has worked for us so well because there is so much freedom and flexibility in this, but there is still a firm idea of what to do. You know, our morning schedule, if we get way out of whack, it's okay because, you know, this by 10 o'clock, we're not 2 hours behind already. This is just what we should get done. And if it works, that's awesome. If something doesn't work out well, things can be pushed to the afternoon. But for the most part, there is just a general structure, but just enough to keep us on track, but not too much to where we fall apart by not being able to follow a schedule perfectly. So I hope this encourages any of you who are looking for a schedule that works. If there's anything you want to know about our schedule, let me know, and I will be glad to answer that. But I would love to know what works for you guys, if you have found something that works for your family, and I look forward to reading and hearing about that. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for following along with us, and I'll see you sometime next week. Bye.